I think a role model is a mentor, someone you see on a daily basis, and you learn from them. I'd be more frightened by procrastination and laziness. We've all received our share of good fortune, so that's my definition of much. A single blessing is all the bounty in the world, and if you've been blessed at all, you're meant to pass some of that on. You're meant to set a positive example. If you have an enemy, then learn and know your enemy, don't just be mad at him or her. I'd be more frightened by not using whatever abilities I've been given. There is a lot of joy to be found in reflecting upon your experiences as you work towards your dreams. Learn to laugh at your failures, smile at your wins, and don't be afraid to laugh at yourself. I say luck is when an opportunity comes along and you're prepared for it. At the end of the day, it's not about what you have or even what you've accomplished. It's about what you've done with those accomplishments. It's about who you've lifted up, who you've made better. It's about what you've given back. Dreams are great. In fact, dreams are necessary in life or no one would ever go anywhere. But a dream without a goal, and without action, has no opportunity to come true. If you're looking for more money, more love, more success, or more impact, you always have to manage the stress, obligations, commitments, and criticism that come along with all of it. When you want more, you get more of everything. The chances you take, the people you meet, the people you love, the faith that you have. That's what's going to define you. The only thing stopping you from achieving your dreams are the stories you keep telling yourself that you can't. Don't wait, act now. Regret nothing. Faith will get you to a point. Luck will get you to a point. But to achieve the kind of success you dream about, you need to work. There are no shortcuts, you can't cheat life, just get to work and don't stop until you reach your highest potential. Faith is the confidence, the assurance, the enforcing truth, the knowing. Never confuse movement with progress. Because you can run in place and not get anywhere. Never compromise on who you are. You are born with the capacity to achieve greatness if you so desire. Learning to say no is a critical element to accessing that greatness. Your choices will define you, so make them the right ones. In Los Angeles, everyone is a star. It's simple, you get a part. You play a part. You play it well. You do your work and you go home. Acting is just a way of making a living, the family is life. You have to grab moments when they happen. I like to improvise. My mother never gave up on me. I messed up in school so much they were sending me home, but my mother sent me right back. I actually don't hang out with any celebrities. My closest friends are old friends. And my real close friends, none of them are actors. Do what you have to do what you want to do. Don't aspire to make a living, aspire to make a difference. Just because you are doing a lot more doesn't mean you are getting a lot done. Don't confuse movement with progress. The time to worry about flying is when you're on the ground. When you're up in the air, it's too late. No point in worrying about it then. Man gives you the award, but God gives you the reward. What it taught me was forgiveness. It taught me that when people present themselves in a certain way, there's probably some backstory, or issue, or reason for the way that they are. It's not you, it's them. And a lot of times, it's about something that's completely out of their control. Success? I don't know what that word means. I'm happy. But success, that goes back to what in somebody's eyes success means. For me, success is inner peace. That's a good day for me. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. You only live once, so do what you feel passionate about. Give other people's opinions their right significance. Take advice if it is constructive, and learn from it. But do not build your life based around the opinions of others. Trust yourself and trust your choices. In order to change your life, you must change your thoughts. We live in a time when people give up too easily. A man once told me that you step out of your door in the morning, and you are already in trouble. The only question is, are you on top of that trouble or not? The greatest lesson I've learned in life is, who knows what's good or bad? Things come along that you really want, and they turn out to be the worst thing in the world. And some of the worst tragedies that you can conceive turn out to be the best things, the exact medicine you need in that moment. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove. Nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Fall forward. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. Put God first in everything you do. Everything that I have is by the grace of God, I understand that. It's a gift. I didn't always stick with Him, but He stuck with me. I love research and being educated. It's a great job, being able to step into all kinds of professions and into other people's shoes. Sometimes when you're the good guy, you're sort of trapped. Oh, he can't say that. And even when you're playing a real person, like a Stephen Biko, you're sort of stuck within those confines. So yeah, bad guys do have more fun. That's what I tell young actors, you don't have to compromise. Go to some theater, and wait for an appropriate role. You practice anything a long time, you get good at it. You tell 100 lies a day, it sounds like the truth. Everyone betrays everyone. You can beat or jail me or even kill me, but I am not going to be what you want me to be. So you never know who you touch. You never know how or when you'll have an impact, or how important your example can be to someone else. We do what we have to so we can do what we want to. Luck is when opportunity meets preparation. Dreams are great. In fact, dreams are necessary in life or no one would ever go anywhere. But a dream without a goal, and without action, has no opportunity to come true. There is a lot of joy to be found in reflecting upon your experiences as you work towards your dreams. Learn to laugh at your failures, smile at your wins, and don't be afraid to laugh at yourself. Never confuse movement with progress. Because you can run in place and not get anywhere. The poorest people are the sweetest people. Life is a melting pot of knowledge and experience, both your own and that of everyone around you. Don't be afraid to learn from others' mistakes, and take bits of useful information or ideas that help you get better at what you do. Wisdom is there at your fingertips, use it. I work hard for the audience. It's entertainment. I don't need validation. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. Trust yourself and trust your choices. True desire in the heart for anything good is God's proof to you sent beforehand to indicate that it's yours already. I remain thankful for the gifts that I've been given, and I try to use them in a good way, in a positive way. If you don't trust the pilot, don't go. My ultimate life dream project is my kids. My family. Goals on the road to achievement cannot be achieved without discipline and consistency. Why do we close our eyes when we pray, cry, kiss, or dream? Because the most beautiful things in life are not seen but felt by the heart. Nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Fall forward. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. In the real world, the smartest people are people who make mistakes and learn. In school, the smartest people don't make mistakes. It's not what you say out of your mouth that determines your life, it's what you whisper to yourself that has the most power. It's more important to grow your income than cut your expenses. It's more important to grow your spirit than cut your dreams. The most successful people in life are the ones who ask questions. They're always learning. They're always growing. They're always pushing. Don't be addicted to money. Work to learn. Don't work for money. Work for knowledge. It's easier to stand on the sidelines, criticize, and say why you shouldn't do something. The sidelines are crowded. Get in the game. The trouble with school is they give you the answer, then they give you the exam. That's not life. Complaining about your current position in life is worthless. Have a spine and do something about it instead. The fear of being different prevents most people from seeking new ways to solve their problems. Winners are not afraid of losing. But losers are. Failure is part of the process of success. People who avoid failure also avoid success. Successful people ask questions. They seek new teachers. They're always learning. If you want to be rich, you need to develop your vision. You must be standing on the edge of time gazing into the future. If you're still doing what mommy and daddy said for you to do, go to school, get a job, and save money, you're losing. Often, The more money you make, the more money you spend. That's why more money doesn't make you rich, assets make you rich. The most life-destroying word of all is the word tomorrow. The size of your success is measured by the strength of your desire, the size of your dream, and how you handle disappointment along the way. I'd rather welcome change than cling to the past. The most successful people are mavericks who aren't afraid to ask why, especially when everyone thinks it's obvious. Hoping drains your energy. Action creates energy. The more a person seeks security, the more that person gives up control over his life. Everyone can tell you the risk. An entrepreneur can see the reward. A plan is a bridge to your dreams. Your job is to make the plan or bridge real, so that your dreams will become real. If all you do is stand on the side of the bank and dream of the other side, your dreams will forever be just dreams. You'll often find that it's not mom or dad, husband or wife, or the kids that's stopping you. It's you. Get out of your own way. The only difference between a rich person and poor person is how they use their time. Your choices decide your fate. Take the time to make the right ones. If you make a mistake, that's fine, learn from it and don't make it again. If you're the kind of person who has no guts, you just give up every time life pushes you. If you're that kind of person, you'll live all your life playing it safe, doing the right things, saving yourself for something that never happens. Then, you die a boring old person. Money is really just an idea. Talk is cheap. Learn to listen with your eyes. Actions do speak louder than words. Watch what a person does more than what he says. The moment you make passive income and portfolio income a part of your life will change. Those words will become flesh. You will make some mistakes, but if you learn from those mistakes will become wisdom, and wisdom is essential to becoming wealthy. If you realize that you're the problem, then you can change yourself, learn something and grow wiser. Don't blame other people for your problems. As I said, I wish I could say it was easy. It wasn't, but it wasn't hard either. But without a strong reason or purpose, anything in life is hard. The single most powerful asset we all have is our mind. If it is trained well, it can create enormous wealth in what seems to be an instant. Find the game where you can win, and then commit your life to playing it, and play to win. The power of can. The word can't makes strong people weak, blinds people who can see, saddens happy people, turns brave people into cowards, robs a genius of their brilliance, causes rich people to think poorly, and limits the achievements of that great person living inside us all. One of the great things about being willing to try new things and make mistakes is that making mistakes keeps you humble. People who are humble learn more than people who are arrogant. Intelligence solves problems and produces money. Money without financial intelligence is money soon gone. Start small and dream big. Emotions are what make us human. Make us real. The word emotion stands for energy in motion. Be truthful about your emotions, and use your mind and emotions in your favor, not against yourself. You're only poor if you give up. The most important thing is that you did something. Most people only talk and dream of getting rich. You've done something. If you want to be financially free, you need to become a different person than you are today and let go of whatever has held you back in the past. The philosophy of the rich and the poor is this: the rich invest their money and spend what is left. The poor spend their money and invest what is left. Sight is what you see with your eyes, vision is what you see with your mind. In school we learn that mistakes are bad, and we are punished for making them. Yet, if you look at the way humans are designed to learn, we learn by making mistakes. We learn to walk by falling down. If we never fell down, we would never walk. Never say you cannot afford something. That is a poor man's attitude. Ask how to afford it. Follow one course until successful. Your future is created by what you do today, not tomorrow. I find so many people struggling, often working harder, simply because they cling to old ideas. They want things to be the way they were, they resist change. Old ideas are their biggest liability. It is a liability simply because they fail to realize that while that idea or way of doing something was an asset yesterday, yesterday is gone. The more I risk being rejected, the better my chances are of being accepted. One of the most stupid things to do is to pretend you are smart. When you pretend to be smart, you are at the height of stupidity. Find out where you are at, where you are going, and build a plan to get there. I am concerned that too many people are focused too much on money and not on their greatest wealth, which is their education. If people are prepared to be flexible, keep an open mind and learn, they will grow richer and richer through the changes. If they think money will solve the problems, I am afraid those people will have a rough ride. Most people want everyone else in the world to change themselves. Let me tell you, it's easier to change yourself than everyone else. People who dream small dreams continue to live as small people. The richest people in the world build networks, everyone else is trained to look for work. There are those who make things happen, there are those who watch things happen, and there are those who say what happened. Skills make you rich, not theories. Losers quit when they failed out, winners fail until they succeed. When you come to the boundaries of what you know, it is time to make some mistakes. People without financial knowledge, who take advice from financial experts, are like lemmings simply following their leader. They race for the cliff and leap into the ocean of financial uncertainty, hoping to swim to the other side. The ability to sell is the #1 skill in business. If you cannot sell, don't bother thinking about becoming a business owner. Too many people are too lazy to think. Instead of learning something new, they think the same thought day in day out. Education is cheap, experience is expensive. The love of money is not the root of all evil. The lack of money is the root of all evil. We all have tremendous potential, and we all are blessed with gifts. Yet, the one thing that holds all of us back is some degree of self-doubt. It is not so much the lack of technical information that holds us back, but more the lack of self-confidence. When you are forced to think, you expand your mental capacity. When you expand your mental capacity, your wealth increases. Making mistakes isn't enough to become great. You must also admit the mistake, and then learn how to turn that mistake into an advantage. In today's rapidly changing world, the people who are not taking risk are the risk takers. Tomorrows only exist in the minds of dreamers and losers. Excuses cost a dime, and that's why the poor could afford a lot of it. People need to wake up and realize that life doesn't wait for you. If you want something, get up and go after it. If you want to be rich, simply serve more people. You're only poor if you give up. The most important thing is that you did something. Most people only talk and dream of getting rich. You've done something. When people are lame, they love to blame. It is easy to stay the same, but it is not easy to change. Most people choose to stay the same all their lives. It does not take money to make money. Face your fears and doubts, and new worlds will open to you. A mistake is a signal that it is time to learn something new, something you didn't know before. There are no bad business and investment opportunities, but there are bad entrepreneurs and investors. A winning strategy must include losing. If you want to go somewhere, it is best to find someone who has already been there. Success is a poor teacher. We learn the most about ourselves when we fail, so don't be afraid of failing. Failing is part of the process of success. You cannot have success without failure. The successful among us delay gratification. The successful among us bargain with the future. Attend carefully to your posture. Quit drooping and hunching around. Speak your mind. To decide to move forward courageously into the land of the unknown. That's one of the secrets to a good life. Perhaps you are overvaluing what you don't have and undervaluing what you do. Don't underestimate the hole your absence would leave. The purpose of life is finding the largest burden that you can bear and bearing it. It is my firm belief that the best way to fix the world, a handyman's dream, if ever there was one, is to fix yourself. If you can't even clean up your own room, who the hell are you to give advice to the world? In order to think, you have to risk being offensive. You positively need to be occupied with something weighty, deep, profound, and difficult. You have some vital role to play in the unfolding destiny of the world. You are, therefore, morally obliged to take care of yourself. It's in responsibility that most people find the meaning that sustains them through life. We must each adopt as much responsibility as possible for individual life, society and the world. What's the difference between the successful and the unsuccessful? The successful sacrifice. Assume that the person you are listening to might know something you don't. When you have something to say, silence is a lie, and tyranny feeds on lies. You're much better off to confront your fears head-on than you are to wait and let them find you. Failure is the price we pay for standards, and, because mediocrity has consequences both real and harsh, standards are necessary. The lack of your best hurts everything. If you present yourself as defeated, then people will react to you as if you are losing. If you start to straighten up, then people will look at and treat you differently. Making your life better means adopting a lot of responsibility, and that takes more effort and care than living stupidly in pain and remaining arrogant, deceitful and resentful. Face the demands of life voluntarily. Respond to a challenge, instead of bracing for a catastrophe. A leader gives articulation to the imagination of the population. There's no quick pathways from smart to wise. If you fulfill your obligations every day, you don't need to worry about the future. Face your fears voluntarily, that's the cure. Strengthen the individual. Start with yourself. Take care with yourself. Define who you are. Refine your personality. Everything you value is a product of unimaginably lengthy developmental processes, personal, cultural, biological. Don't underestimate the power and vision and direction. These are irresistible forces, able to transform what might appear to be unconquerable obstacles into traversable pathways and expanding opportunities. There's some real utility in gratitude. It took untold generations to get you where you are. A little gratitude might be in order. Strengthen the individual. Start with yourself. Take care with yourself. Define who you are. Refine your personality. Choose your destination and articulate your being. As the great 19th century German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche so brilliantly noted, he whose life has a why can bear almost any how. It takes careful observation, and education, and reflection, and communication with others, just to scratch the surface of your beliefs. You must determine where you are going in your life, because you cannot get there unless you move in that direction. Random wandering will not move you forward. It will instead disappoint and frustrate you and make you anxious and unhappy and hard to get along with, and then resentful, and then vengeful, and then worse. And if you think tough men are dangerous, wait until you see what weak men are capable of. The better ambitions have to do with the development of character and ability, rather than status and power. Status you can lose. You carry character with you wherever you go, and it allows you to prevail against adversity. If you're going to insist on bending the world to your way, you better have your reasons. If you're going to stand your ground, you better have your reasons. You better have thought them through. You might otherwise be in for a very hard landing. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. Ideologies are substitutes for true knowledge, and ideologues are always dangerous when they come to power, because a simple-minded I know it all approach is no match for the complexity of existence. Perhaps you are overvaluing what you don't have and undervaluing what you do. So, listen to yourself and to those with whom you are speaking. Your wisdom then consists not of the knowledge you already have, but the continual search for knowledge, which is the highest form of wisdom. I don't think that you have any insight whatsoever into your capacity for good until you have some well-developed insight into your capacity for evil. You're going to pay a price for every bloody thing you do and everything you don't do. You don't get to choose to not pay a price. You get to choose which poison you're going to take. That's it. If you can't understand why someone is doing something, look at the consequences of their actions, whatever they might be, and then infer the motivations from their consequences. If you're going to be successful, you need to be smart, conscientious, and tough. It's better to do something badly than to not do it at all. Face the demands of life voluntarily. Respond to a challenge. instead of bracing for catastrophe. Notice that opportunity lurks where responsibility has been abdicated. Don't be a slave to stupid rules. If you fulfill your obligations every day, you don't need to worry about the future. The creative person, by contrast, is always open to new possibilities. You're not everything you could be, and you know it. The purpose of life is finding the largest burden that you can bear and bearing it. Work as hard as you possibly can on at least one thing and see what happens. Make friends with people who want the best for you. Treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping. If you're going to insist on bending the world to your way, you better have your reasons. Dialogue is the pathway to truth. Be grateful in spite of your suffering. Power is competence. In order to be able to think, you have to risk being offensive. Always place your becoming above your current being. If you've never tried, how will you ever know if there's any chance? I believe in two principles: your attitude is more important than your capabilities. Similarly, your decision is more important than your capabilities. I always tell myself that we are born here not to work, but to enjoy life. We are here to make things better for one another. The opportunities that everyone cannot see are the real opportunities. If there are 9 rabbits on the ground, if you want to catch one, just focus on one. When people think too highly of you, you have the responsibility to calm down and be yourself. The world needs new leadership, but the new leadership is about working together. Try to find the right people, not the best people. If you view everyone as your enemies, then everyone around you will be enemies. 30% of all people will never believe you. Do not allow your colleagues and employees to work for you. Instead, let them work for a common goal. A good boss is better than a good company. A leader should be visionary and have more foresight than an employee. A leader should incentivize, but not with money. You give trust, respect, appreciation, and correct, heartfelt advice. It doesn't matter how wealthy or powerful you are, if you can't enjoy the sunshine, you can't be truly happy. China is opening the door. And internet is the best way to let the people understand what's happening outside. Of course, you're not happy when people say no. Have a good sleep, wake up, and try again. Today is difficult, tomorrow is much more difficult, but the day after tomorrow is beautiful. Most people die tomorrow evening. If you have different mindset, you will have a different outcome. Before I'm 50 years old, my job is making money. After I'm 50 years old, my job is spending money, helping others, because you can spend all that money. On the path to success, you will notice that the successful ones are not whiners, nor do they complain often. In my life, it's not how much we've achieved, it's how much we've gone through the tough days. Philanthropy is not about helping others, it's about helping yourself. When you change, the world changes. Instead of learning from other people's success, learn from their mistakes. Most of the people who fail share common reasons to fail, whereas success can be attributed to various different kinds of reasons. Don't hire the most qualified, hire the craziest. As entrepreneurs, if you're not optimistic, you're in trouble. So the people I choose, they have to be optimistic. Success and profitability are outcome of focusing on customers and employees, not objectives. I always find people smarter than I am. Then my job is to make sure smart people can work together. Stupid people can work together easily, smart people can't. I do everything to make sure my customer is happy, my employee is happy, society is healthy. I would focus on customers, I would focus on not making money, I would focus on making values. I know nothing about technology, I know nothing about marketing, I know nothing about the legal stuff. I only know about people. No matter how tough the chase is, you should always have the dream you saw on the first day. It'll keep you motivated and rescue you. Leadership is your instinct, then it's your training. Leaders are always positive, they never complain. I want to change history, do something important in my life, and influence individuals like we have with millions of small businesses on Alibaba. Then they love and respect you because you made their life important. Intelligent people need a fool to lead them. When the team's all a bunch of scientists, it is best to have a peasant lead the way. His way of thinking is different. It's easier to win if you have people seeing things from different perspectives. It's very difficult to know the outside world, but you know yourself. You know your need and what you want. If I know myself better, I can change myself to meet the outside world. You've to make consumers smart. An e-commerce portal doesn't sell a product at cheaper rates, instead an offline shop sells it at costlier prices. A peace talk is always difficult, always complicated. You never know how much can you do in your life. You never know that the things you're doing are that meaningful to society. We should never finish a 20-year program in 2 years. If you don't give up, you still have a chance. Giving up is the greatest failure. Never give up. Today is hard, tomorrow will be worse, but the day after tomorrow will be sunshine. We're never in lack of money. We black people with dreams, people who can die for those dreams. A leader should have higher grit and tenacity, and be able to endure what the employees can't. I'm not a tech guy. I'm looking at the technology with the eyes of my customers, normal people's eyes. When we have money, we start making mistakes. If the customer loves you, the government will have to love you. You need the right people with you, not the best people. Never ever compete on prices, instead compete on services and innovation. I don't want people to have deep pockets but shallow minds. Today, making money is very simple. But making sustainable money while being responsible to the society and improving the world is very difficult. Life is so short, so beautiful. Don't be so serious about work. Enjoy the lives. You should learn from your competitor, but never copy. Copy and you die. Without internet, there would have been no Jack Ma, and no Alibaba or Taobao. Never ever compete on prices, instead of competing on services and innovation. Once in your life, try something. Work hard at something. Try to change. Nothing bad can happen. Opportunity lies in the place where the complaints are. Before you're 30, work for a small company, learn passion, learn to dream. I think in 10 years we'll be bigger than Walmart. Only fools use their mouth to speak. A smart man uses his brain, and a wise man uses his heart. Success and profitability are outcomes of focusing on customers and employees, not objectives. I call myself a blind man riding on a blind tiger. Your attitude is more important than your capabilities. Similarly, your decision is more important than your capabilities. Look at challenges as opportunities. If you want to grow, find a good opportunity. If you want to be a great company, think about what social problem you could solve. When KFC came to China, 24 people went for the job, 23 people were accepted, I was the only guy who was rejected. When you are small, you have to be very focused and rely on your brain, not your strength. You've got to make your team have value, innovation, and vision. Grow your mind, grow your culture, grow your values, grow your wisdom. I think China is going in this direction. Stay hungry and follow your dreams. You never know how much you can do in your life. I don't care about revenues. Help young people. Help small guys. Because small guys will be big. Young people will have the seeds you bury in their minds, and when they grow up, they will change the world. You have got to keep trying, and if it doesn't work, you always can revert back to what you were doing before. I don't want to be liked. I want to be respected. I try to make myself happy because I know that if I'm not happy, my colleagues are not happy and my shareholders are not happy and my customers are not happy. The very important thing you should have is patience. Doesn't matter if I fail. At least I pass the concept on to others. Even if I don't succeed, someone will succeed. We appreciate yesterday, but we're looking for a better tomorrow. My job is to help more people have jobs. Never ever do business with the government. Be in love with them, never marry them. If we want to change the world, we have to change ourselves. Leadership is your instinct, then it's your training. Leaders are always positive, they never complain. A good boss is better than a good company. My favorite movie is Forrest Gump. He said nobody makes money catching whales, people make money catching shrimps. So we serve small business. As entrepreneurs, if you're not optimistic, you're in trouble. So the people I choose, they have to be optimistic. The interesting thing is, those opinions didn't change the world, but the people behind the ideas did. Everyone has a different clock. Wait for your time. When nobody else celebrates you, learn to celebrate yourself. Don't let someone be a priority when all you are to them is an option. Your new life will cost you your old one. Canceling plans to read is okay. Skipping a party for the gym is okay. Staying home to cook is okay. Let's encourage it and respect self-improvement. Everything in life happens according to our time, our clock. Being positive doesn't mean you don't ever have negative thoughts. It just means you don't let those thoughts control your life. In a world with so much information, we're somehow still missing the wisdom of life. I love asking kids what they want to be when they grow up because I'm still looking for ideas. The more you try and keep up with others' opinions, the more you'll fall behind. Forgiveness doesn't excuse the behavior, but it prevents the behavior from negatively affecting us. We are so anxious about what will happen in the future that we don't enjoy the present. You are still young, and you aren't supposed to have your whole life figured out yet. Don't stress. Everything will work out. The best people to surround yourself with are the ones that bring out the best in you. Starve your distractions, feed your focus. When you learn a little, you feel you know a lot. But when you learn a lot, you realize you know very little. Swap "why is this happening to me?" to "what is this trying to teach me?" It will change everything. Failures are failures when we don't learn from them. When we learn from them, they become lessons. The paradox of our times is that we have more degrees, but less sense, more knowledge, but less judgment, more experts, but less solutions. If you're looking around and you find yourself being the smartest person in the room, change rooms because you're in the wrong one. Being happy for someone else's success makes you happier. Go try it and stop being salty. We may not be the best, but if we keep going longer we will better ourselves. It's not about how slow you go, just as long as you don't stop. If you don't sacrifice for what you want becomes the sacrifice. No matter how rich, talented, or educated you think you are, how you treat people says everything about you. What you want exists. Don't settle until you get it. I don't hate you, but I am done investing my time in you. Reading changes your mind, applying changes your life. The most powerful prison is one when you don't even know that you're locked up. Motivation comes from meaning. Everything comes from meaning. Everyone has a different clock. Wait for your time. The days you don't want to are the days you really have to if you want to reach your goal. Go the extra mile, it's never crowded. The next time you see someone that you think is successful, don't focus on what they're doing now. Focus on what they did to get there. Don't worry about rejections. All you need is one person to say yes. The thing about limitations is that they are only true as long as you believe in them. So, instead of believing in your limitations, start believing in yourself. Think about what you can do right now, not what you wish you had done before. We live for the weekend but then end up feeling weak. Failure has the ability to lure success. Don't carry your mistakes around with you. Instead, place them under your feet and use them as stepping stones. We put time limits on what we love, but we do what we don't love all of the time. Choose people who choose you. Spend more time with people who make you forget to look at your phone. The challenge is we all want to be with someone who makes us happy when what we need to do is be some who makes us happy. Often the people closest to us get the worst of us, and the people we barely know get the best of us. You cannot transform that which you do not accept. At your best, you still won't be good enough for the wrong person. At your worst, you'll still be worth it to the right person. Some people love you but don't tell you, some people tell you but don't love you. Every act is either an act of love or a cry for love. Whatever is taken for granted, will eventually be taken away. Success comes from gaining, happiness comes from giving. Don't depend too much on anyone in this world. Even your shadow leaves you when you're in darkness. The way we communicate says it all. We spend more time holding our phones than we hold each other. We ask Google more questions than we ask each other. I believe that you can't fix yourself by breaking someone else. I'm always opening 1,000 doors. Everyone sees the 10 that stay open. That's the key to growth. Never blame anyone if you got hurt by them because it was not their fault, it was you who gave them the right to tear you apart. If we never learn to be alone, we will always feel lonely. The person we will become in 5 years is defined by the people that we spend time with today and the books that we read today. We force ourselves out of bed to live the same day again and again and call it a life. Your identity should be made by what you think you should be. The best lesson I have learned in life came from the worst feeling I ever felt in life. Money is only a tool. It will take you wherever you wish, but make sure it does not replace you as the driver. Our words have more power than we even believe. Our words define our reality. We need to pick them carefully. Make sure you taste your words before you spit them out. Life and time are the best two teachers. Life teaches us to make good use of time and time teaches us the value of life. If you could be more creative, what would you use it for? The slowest road to success is when you're comparing yourself to others. We spend the whole day trying to get our work on time, but then spend all of our time thinking about work. You're not going to master the rest of your life in one day. Don't stress. Master the day. Make this a daily reminder. Let's not make happiness and success about the size of our homes, but about the size of our heart. Let's not make it about gratification, but gratitude. You don't know what you need in your life until you figure out who you are. It's important to figure out who you're not, in order to figure out who you are. Many of us are experiencing setbacks and failures in everyday life. Eventually, we get emotionally drained, tired, unmotivated and we stop trying. We believe that because we've been unsuccessful in the past that barrier still exists even for new ventures. Fast forward where you are. Look at yourself in 10, 15, 20 years time and ask yourself the question, is that where I want to be? If you're in a company, look at the person who's 20 years ahead of you and ask yourself, is that where I want to be? If you're in a startup, look at where other startups have got to in similar roles and go, is that where I want to be? And if the answer's no, then you need to find a new path. Real friends tell you when you aren't living up to your potential. They don't let you sit and be mediocre and think you are it. You are still young and you aren't supposed to have your whole life figured out yet. Don't stress. Everything will work out. Success comes from gaining, happiness comes from giving. We may not be the best, but if we keep going longer we will better ourselves. Don't be afraid of new beginnings, from new people, new energy, new surroundings, new challenges. Embrace new chances at happiness. When you are not sure, flip a coin because while the coin is in the air, you realize which one you were actually hoping for. A mentor is someone who sees what you may miss. Love don't hurt you. Someone who doesn't know to love hurt you. Don't confuse the two.
It wasn't until I stopped and fell in love with Lisa, that the rest of the world began to fall in love with Lisa. While you're walking on your journey, some days you're going to have to take that walk alone. Are you willing to do the things you don't want to do and say the things you don't want to say so that you can become the man or woman you've always known yourself to be? It's your responsibility to show the world how to treat you by the way in which you treat yourself. Intent reveals desire, action reveals commitment. Your job is to let your light shine brightly. Your best opportunities are out on the skinny branch. Allow change. Being unapologetic means that I will be all of me. I will no longer shrink or compromise myself by playing small so others will not feel insecure in my presence. You are the author of your story. People are more comfortable with a familiar discomfort than they are with an unfamiliar new possibility. The truth is that no matter where you started out in life, you have a choice between scarcity and abundance. Stop asking for permission. Wherever your mind is, your lifestyle has to follow. Fear is not meant to stop you, it's meant to wake you up, to keep you up at night preparing and prepping for your goals. Trust yourself. Know that all things are working together to support you living your best life. God help me get out of my own way so that I can do what I'm here to do. In the pursuit of not falling, you'll never fly. Some motivation will come wrapped in sandpaper. I am a work in progress, I am reinventing myself. When your clarity meets your conviction and you apply action to the equation, your world will begin to transform before your eyes. The next time you sense a strong emotion, take some time to put a finger on exactly what you're feeling. Get quiet, turn inward, and just listen. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be joyful. You deserve to be celebrated. But in order to do that, you must first fall madly in love with yourself. I choose to see the greatness in you, and I choose to allow you to see the greatness in me. Your story is important. Sometimes you have to be willing to let go of something old to grab onto something new. Every single thing you touch is impacted by your story. Dimming your light doesn't do you or the world any good. You were meant to be great. Stand in that power. So often we take care of everybody and the whole time we're putting ourselves on the back burner. This is the season for you to do you first. Do you realize that your love, your peace, your joy, your bliss can be so powerful in you that it becomes contagious, and people just want to be around you and they don't even know why? Your whole life is a manifestation of the thoughts that go on in your head.
If you are not creating new problems for yourself, then you are not taking enough action. Be nice to people. It doesn't cost anything. The dictionary defines the term obsessed as the domination of one's thoughts or feelings by a persistent idea, image, or desire. Although the rest of the world tends to treat this mindset like a disease, I believe that it's the perfect adjective for how you must approach success. Receiving criticism is a surefire sign that you are well on your way. A little imagination combined with massive action goes a long way. You cannot blame your family for keeping you from the success you deserve. They should be the reason why you want to succeed. I suggest that you become obsessed about the things you want, otherwise, you are going to spend a lifetime being obsessed with making up excuses as to why you didn't get the life you wanted. If nobody hates you, nobody knows you. People's failure to think big enough usually means they will never act big enough, often enough, or persistently enough. Companies, industries, artists, products, and individuals who continue into the future successfully aren't those who approach every activity with the outlook that average is just not good enough. Have a higher purpose than money. Let your friends, family, and work associates know that you treat average like a terminal disease. Forward thinkers don't copy. They don't compete, they create. Great salespeople build value. I would rather die in expansion than die in contraction. I would rather fail pushing forward than in retreat. Quit settling for reality and focus on your potential. Anyone who minimizes the importance of success to your future has given up on his or her own chances of accomplishment and is spending his or her life trying to convince you to do the same. Born broke is not the issue, staying broke is. Fathers are our first influencers. don't have time and money because you don't invest time and money. Don't rest and don't stop, ever. Most valuable chips you have are your mindset, actions, persistence, and creativity. Commit to the income, not the problem. Those who do nothing will insist to their friends and family that they are happy and content and that all is right with them, which only serves to confuse everyone because it is evident that they are not living up to their full potential. Never set realistic goals. You can get a realistic life without setting goals for it. An investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. A person is obviously going to excel and do best in those areas in which he or she invests the most attention and takes the most action. Almost every problem people face in their careers and other aspects of their lives, such as failed diets, marriages, and financial problems, are all the result of not taking enough action. Love me or hate me, at least now you know me. Go the extra mile. There's no one on it. I'm not living the dream, I'm busting my ass to make freedom a possibility. Staying poor is selfish. Success is a full-time job. You sleep to rest the body. You wake up to make your dreams a reality. If you don't do something, you'll end up being nothing. Nothing about an excuse can help your situation. I don't go to work. I hate that saying. I want you to go to work to prosper. Go to work for freedom. This is what wealthy people do different than anybody else. Wealthy people work for freedom. They're not working for comfort items, not for a weekend, they're working for freedom. I want $1 million in my happy account and $1 million in my bank account. Your excuses might be legit, but they won't improve your life. Your success will be compromised by your need to be liked by everyone. Investing energy and resources in yesterday prevents you from creating the future you deserve. Don't criticize my swag. Find yours. You can't reach your potential without haters. Very successful people don't seek comfort, they seek success and are willing to do what is most uncomfortable. But most of the world is seeking comfort and familiarity, which are traps that cause you to settle for the mediocre. The ambitious are criticized by those who have given up. Don't go to work. Go to work to prosper. Most opportunities are disguised as problems. Don't just make money, make a difference. If you're not first, you're last. Make time, not excuses. Massive success is the best revenge. Discipline, consistent, and persistent actions are more of a determining factor in the creation of success than any other combination of things. You can't get anywhere flying under the radar. Never depend on one action. You will never be admired without being criticized first. You will not have a successful life surrounded by negative people. What you have done is nothing compared to what you can do.
Desire is a contract that you make with yourself to be unhappy until you get what you want. A fit body, a calm mind, a house full of love. These things cannot be bought, they must be earned. I would say that the 5 most important skills are, of course, reading, writing, arithmetic, and then as you're adding in, persuasion, which is talking. And then finally, I would add computer programming just because it's an applied form of arithmetic that just gets you so much leverage for free in any domain that you operate in. If you're good with computers, if you're good at basic mathematics, if you're good at writing, if you're good at speaking, and if you like reading, you're set for life. I don't actually read a lot of books. I pick up a lot of books and only get through a few, which form the foundation of my knowledge. 40-hour work weeks are a relic of the industrial age. Knowledge workers function like athletes, train and sprint, then rest and reassess. A rational person can find peace by cultivating indifference to things outside their control. In any situation in life, you only have 3 options. You always have 3 options. You can change it, You can accept it, or you can leave it. What is not a good option is to sit around wishing you would change it but not changing it, wishing you would leave it but not leaving it, and not accepting it. It's that struggle, that aversion, that is responsible for most of our misery. The phrase that I probably use the most to myself in my head is just one word: accept. You make your own luck if you stay at it long enough. Competing without software is like competing without electricity. If you want to be a philosopher king, first become a king, then become a philosopher. Not first become a philosopher and then become a king. If it entertains you now but will bore you someday, it's a distraction. Keep looking. Knowledge is a skyscraper. You can take a shortcut with a fragile foundation of memorization, or build slowly upon a steel frame of understanding. To the experts, what looks like hard work from the outside is play from the inside. Don't take yourself so seriously. You're just a monkey with a plan. Reading is the ultimate meta skill that can be traded for anything else. If you're good with computers, if you're good at basic mathematics, if you're good at writing, if you're good at speaking, and if you like reading, you're set for life. Status is your ranking in the social hierarchy. The people who have the ability to fail in public under their own name actually gain a lot of power. Specialization is for insects. I don't believe in this model of trying to focus your life down one thing. You've got one life, just do everything you want. Renting out your time means you're essentially replaceable. Wealth is assets that earn while you sleep. Any meeting with 8 people sitting around at a conference table, nothing is getting done in that meeting. You are literally just dying 1 hour at a time. The smarter you get, the slower you read. If you care about ethics and wealth creation, it is better to create your wealth using code and media as leverage, because then those products are equally available to everybody, as opposed to trying to create your wealth through labor or capital. Art is anything done for its own sake. Wealth buys your freedom. The most dangerous things are heroin and a monthly salary. The only true test of intelligence is if you get what you want out of life. Escape competition through authenticity. My personal learning has been that the principal agent problem drives so much in this world. It's an incentives problem. I've learned that tit-for-tat iterative prisoner's dilemma is the piece of game theory that is worth knowing the most. You can almost put down the game theory book after that. Self-esteem is the reputation that you have with yourself. You'll always know. So, if you're willing to bleed a little bit every day but in exchange you will win big later, you will do better. That is, by the way, entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs bleed every day. They're not making money, they're losing money, they're constantly stressed out, all the responsibility is upon them, but when they win big. On average they'll make more. A taste of freedom can make you unemployable. The most dangerous things are heroin and a monthly salary. Right, because they are highly addictive. Getting rich is about knowing what to do, who to do it with, and when to do it. It is much more about understanding than purely hard work. Yes, hard work matters, and you can't skimp on it. But it has to be directed in the right way. If you don't know yet what you should work on, the most important thing is to figure it out. You should not grind at a lot of hard work until you figure out what you should be working on. You have 2 lives, and the second one begins when you realize you only have one. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. You must own equity to gain your financial freedom. So, you want to look for professions and careers where the inputs and outputs are highly disconnected. People living below their means have freedom. Figure out what product you can provide and then figure out how to scale it. So, you're right. It's about distributing what rich people used to have to everybody. Entrepreneurship is essentially an act of creating something new from scratch, predicting that society will want it, and then figuring out how to scale it, and get it to everybody in a profitable way, in a self-sustaining way.